Writing emails is boring. So let's build an AI that writes emails better than you, better than me. Well, I have already written the code for it. You can see it on the screen. Let me first show you a demonstration. So let us say we need to write an email to ask for salary raise confidently. And let's keep the tone as polite and professional. I just need to run this code. So I may just run the code, wait for the response, and you will find an email asking for salary raise confidently. Well, it will happen within few seconds. And there you have it. You have a subject, meeting request, compensation discussion. Dear manager's name, I am writing to request a meeting to discuss my current compensation. Given my consistent contributions and expanded responsibilities, I believe my salary should reflect the value I bring to the company and blah blah blah. But if you read it full, you will see that this is a very professional email, very polite email, which is asking for a salary raise. So yes, we got it right. So our email is being written by the AI. I don't need to write it. That's pretty interesting, right? So I will tell you exactly how do you create such a code using LangChain. So we are basically going to create or build an AI email generator. It is going to involve three steps. We are going to set up our LLM, or basically the large language model, and we are going to use the Google Gemini model because it provides us a free API key, which you might have already seen in the last video of this series. But if you have not seen, you can find it the video in the I link and the description of the video as well. Also, I have created a full playlist on Google Gemini API. So if you want to understand more on the Google Gemini and using it programmatically, you can find the playlist link in the description of this video. But getting the API key for the Google Gemini is easy. So once you get the API key, you do to set up the LLM. The second step is going to be to set up the prompt template. Basically, a prompt template is something which helps us to create our prompt in a better organized and structured way. We are going to do it, and you will see how we do it. Also, once we have our LLM and prompt ready, we are going to create an LLM chain. This is something which I want to show you guys so that you understand the basics of how LangChain creates agents, right? So we have three steps. Let's do it one by one step at a time. So the first step here is to set up our LLM, right? Set up LLM. So I would ask you guys to go to a website, aistudio.google.com, and there you will have an option of get API key. You can find the link of this website in the description of this video as well, and click on get API key. There you can just create your API key. The one thing you need is you need to have a Google account. Of course, you need to log into this platform and create an API key, fetch your API key, and then come to your code editor. I would recommend you to use VS Code, but you can use any. So once you have a code editor ready, in the code editor, go to a folder. In the langchain-learn or whatever folder you have created, create a .env file, and then in this .env file, you need to have a key name which is Google underscore API underscore key, and the value will be your API key which you have just got from aistudio.google.com. After storing your API key in the .env file, you can now have a Python file. I have created a file named as email underscore generator.py. In this Python file, we are going to write our code, which is going to generate emails for us. First thing is we need to set up our LLM, right? If you see the steps, we need to set up our LLM, set up the prompt template, and then create the LLM chain. So let's first set up the LLM. For that, we need to load the API key. For loading the API key from the .env file, we are going to utilize the .env package. From this library or package, we are going to import the load underscore .env. You might need to install this package. To install this package, you need to say pip install python-dotenv. Run this command in your terminal. This .env module will be installed in your Python environment. The next thing is, once this is done, let's import the LangChain modules as well, which we are going to utilize later on. So the two modules which we are going to import is from langchain underscore google underscore genai, import chat google generative AI. Also, we need to import from langchain underscore core dot prompts. Let's import the prompt template. This is the one which we will use to create our LLM. The second one we are going to utilize to create our prompt template. Now you might need to install these two modules as well, basically the langchain underscore google underscore genai module, the langchain core module, right? So to install these modules, I have already given the pip commands in the description of this video. You can find it there and do the installation. We will focus here on the code. First, we are going to call the function which is load underscore .env. Once you call the function, it will automatically load the data from the .env file, and it will load it as an environment variable. So an environment variable named Google underscore API underscore key will be available to our program, and the value will be the API key. So by default, that's what the Google GenAI LLM wants. The next is we need to create the LLM, which will be equal to chat Google generative AI, and the model which we are going to utilize is Gemini-2.5-Flash. You might want to choose another model, you can do it. The next thing is we need to create a prompt template. To create a prompt template, we can say prompt template, and we can call it as a constructor, store the data in the variable named as prompt. In this prompt template, we need to have some input variables and a prompt. Let me first show you the complete prompt template, then I will explain you what it does. So basically, let us say you want to write a prompt, and this prompt is something which is processed by your LLM to understand what it needs to do and what is the output it needs to give, right? So we need to have a prompt. So let us say we need to write a prompt like write a professional email for the following purpose. The purpose is email for salary negotiation. And also we need to write it as keep it clear and concise, as short as possible. Now, here if I just hard code everything, then always the prompt is going to be same, right? So what we can do is we can actually have some variables inside this prompt, and these variables values will be different for different scenarios. So the same prompt can work for different scenarios based on the value of your tone or the purpose given, right? So the thing which is given in the curly braces are variables which can have different values. So keeping it like this, keeping a prompt like this allows us to have dynamic prompts or different prompts based on the different input variables or based on the data which you give to this prompt. So we create a prompt template which has a predefined template and some input variables. These are purpose and tone, right? So we have purpose and tone. So we have a prompt template ready. We need to call this prompt template by passing two values, the purpose and tone. Whatever you pass, it will be replaced over here, right? Now you can use string replace functions or format functions, but let's not use it. Let's use the dedicated prompt template for doing this thing. So once we have the prompt template ready, we are going to chain our prompt and LLM together. So to chain them, earlier we had a LLM chain class, but now it's very easy. You can say chain is equal to prompt, then a or symbol, then LLM. Basically now they both are chained together. This is how it is implemented in the background, that when you have or between a prompt template and chat Google Generative AI or any LLM class, then they both will be chained together. Now, these two are interconnected with each other. Now, if you pass the value in this prompt, it will be automatically called by this LLM. And to do so, we are actually going to utilize a chain here, right? So we can say response will be equal to chain.invoke. Now we are invoking this LLM and we are going to pass this LLM some parameters, some input variables, because this LLM is linked or chained with the prompt. So we need to define the purpose, we need to define the tone, and that's it. So basically we can say chain.invoke, we can call it as a method, and in this we can pass a dictionary, and this dictionary will have two input variables, both the input variables which are required by the prompt template. So we say purpose is ask for salary raise confidently, tone is polite and professional, that's it. Now I need to print it out, right? So to print it, I can say print response dot content. This content will have the response which is generated by the LLM, and just to format it up, I will have few dashes first and few dashes after the response. This will make sure that our response looks good in the terminal. So we are good. We just created an AI which can write emails for us. You just need to give it the purpose and the tone. It will write you the email. So let's actually try this, but let's this time try this with a different input. What if instead of asking for a raise confidently, we need to actually apologize for some missing deadline? So let's apologize for missing deadline. We need to be polite, professional, and we need to be a little bit apologetic, right? Now run the code again, and this time you will find an email which is generated. So we got an output that the subject is apology for whatever the project deadline is. Dear recipient name, please accept my sincere apologies for missing the deadline. I understand the inconvenience this may cause, blah, blah, blah. Here we have written an email to apologize for missing deadline, and it's polite, professional, and apologetic. So yes, guys, that's it. We have it. Now our AI writes emails, right? We don't need to write it now. I hope this particular program will actually help you guys in your daily routine work. And as a programmer, it will help you to understand some concepts of LangChain. So that's it for this video, guys. So if this video has actually helped you to understand something, then make sure that you hit that like button. If you are not subscribed to my channel as of now, then make sure that you do so, because we are going to have a lot of AI content, things which are related to AI, programming which is related to AI, and definitely this is going to be making you future ready. And AI is not the future, actually. AI is today. So you are today and future ready as well. So I hope you guys will subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this one.